Good evening, everybody, and welcome to That's Good Pasta, our podcast about creepypasta, spooky spaghettis, and all kinds of horror-related gluten products, I guess. With me, as always, is my producer, my tech boy, the good stuff scamp, and his name would be
Jared.
Jared. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we have it's a bit of a short one, so we're going to do a quick read of it. It is called The Lamp, which has been kind of getting some traction of like lately, even though
Oh,
the
really?
story is like it's like over 10 years old, but lately it's been
I love
kind
lamp.
of, I love Lamp, apparently. So let's do this. Throwaway account, because this was posted on Reddit like 10 years ago. Throwaway account because this is really personal. My last semester at a certain college, I was assaulted by a football player for walking where he was trying to drive. Note, he was 325 pounds, I was 120. While unconscious on the ground, I lived a different life. I met a wonderful young lady. She made my heart skip and my face red. I pursued her for months and dispatched a few jerk boyfriends before I finally won her over. After 2 years, we got married, and almost immediately she bore me a daughter.
This guy
All
is an
right.
incel.
Yeah. I had a great job and my life didn't work out or didn't and I didn't have to work outside of the house. When my daughter was 2, she, my wife, bore me a son. My son was the joy of my life. I would walk into his room every morning before I left for work and doted on him and my daughter. One day while sitting on the couch, I noticed that the perspective of the lamp was odd, like inverted. It was still in 3D, but just wrong. It was a square lamp base, red, with gold trim on 4 legs and a white square shade. I was transfixed. I couldn't look away from it. I stayed up all night staring at it. The next morning, I didn't go to work. Something was just not right about this lamp. I stopped eating, and I I left the couch only to use the bathroom at first. Soon, I stopped that too, as I wasn't eating or drinking. I stared at the effing lamp for 3 days before my wife got really worried. Really? It took 3 days? She had someone come and try to talk to me. By this time, my cognizance was breaking up and my wife was freaking out. She took the kids to her mother's house just before my epiphany. The lamp is not real. The house is not real. My wife, my kids, none of that is real. The last 10 years of my life were not effing real. The lamp started to grow wider and deeper. It was still inverted dimensions. It took up my entire perspective, and all I could see was red. I heard voices, screams, all kinds of weird noises, and I became aware of pain. An effing S word ton of pain. The first words I said, I'm missing teeth, and opened my eyes. I was laying on my back on the sidewalk, surrounded by people I didn't know. Lots were freaking out. I was completely confused. At some point, a cop scooped me up, dragged slash walked me across the sidewalk, and and grass and threw me face down at the back of a cop car. I'm still confused. It says I was still confused. I was taken to the hospital by the cop. Seems he didn't want to wait for the ambulance to arrive and get me a CT scan and all kinds of other stuff. I went through about 3 years of a horror depression. I was grieving the loss of my wife and children and dealing with the knowledge that they would never existed. I was scarred and I was going insane. I would cry myself to sleep hoping I would see her in my dreams. I never have, but sometimes I see my son, usually just a glimpse out of my peripheral vision. He's perpetually 5 years old, and I can never hear what he says. Edit. 24 hours after this post. Never thought anyone would read this. I changed a line so it no longer seemed that my 2-year-old daughter bore a child. Okay.
Well,
I have never seen Inception or the Star Trek episode so many have mentioned, but I eventually will. I will not do an AMA. I've had so many PMs describe similar experiences and 3D posters stating that experiences are impossible.
but I have done
Posters?
it. I have done a ton of AMVs.
Yeah.
To
I'd
3-day grace's pain.
I'd say that more research needs to be done on brain functions. Pre-med students don't assume you know everything. A few have asked if they can write a book, screenplay, stage play, rage comic, etc. Please consider this tale open source and have fun with it.
Oh, we will.
Okay, so Jared, do you think he has seen Inception or that one Star Trek episode, also known as The Inner Light? By the way,
Definitely.
yeah,
This
definitely.
guy is giving off mad like incel, like
Live in my parents' basement vibes,
haven't talked to a woman before kind of vibe.
if ever. Yeah,
I had to save her from some bad exes.
some hanger-on boyfriends. Also, okay, my last semester at a certain college, I was assaulted by a football player for not walking where he was trying to drive. He weighed 325 pounds and I was 200 pounds. Did the guy get out of the car to like kick
No,
your ass?
dude was a train. He ran right through him.
Yeah, I was
Um,
like, what?
I like the concept. By the way, this isn't really a horror. This is more of like a tragedy. But I like the concept. Like, do you remember that Multiple Man comic where he was like living his life, but it was just a clone?
Just a clone of it, so
Yeah.
like nothing was like tangible.
Yeah. And then eventually he went back into the main dude's body or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a good concept. But the
Maybe
writing,
they used
my gosh.
maybe they use this as the open source for it.
People want it. People want this.
Well, the only reason I wanted to do this is because it's becoming kind of a meme now. Like it's getting a lot of traction for some reason. Even the unsubscribed podcast that I listen to, like the gun tubers are talking about this. They're like, "Have you heard of this stuff?" I'm like, "This is what they're talking about. This is popular."
Man, when I was 15, bro.
Yeah, it's so I mean, it is an interesting concept, but
Yeah.
I mean, okay, you just heard me read this, and I actually cleaned this up a bit from the grammar because it was, good lord, you can't even find the real the actual post anymore. It's gone. I had to go to Creepypasta Fandom to actually find the whole script. But me and Jared watched a video of it from, I think it's Quack Tales. They had like an animated version of it.
The
Not
animated
amazing.
version is, I mean, I'm not gonna be too harsh, but the lady, his wife in it, her eyelashes are disgusting because they're just like lines
Like two
on her.
caterpillars.
There's like lines on her eyelids, and I was like, oh,
Yeah, and they're
God.
also like uneven. They're also like uneven.
You know,
so-
oh man, it was bad.
No, my favorite is his patchy beard. It just, you can
Did-
tell this was done in like Windows, and he's just like little dots.
Did the baby have a beard?
Don't know. Let me see.
I thought the baby had his beard. I was like, that's kind of funny.
The baby looks like, okay, I know what he's trying to. It looks like he has he wants to like make it seem like he has a pacifier, but it looks like he just has a full goatee.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is that, yeah, does not have a. And then like when the kids grow up or whatever, they're sitting at so weird angles too. Honestly, the animated video I think kind of adds to it, just because it's such a weird animation style and it's a very odd tale. But I also do like that his the TV in their living room is basically just an AV cart from like a school.
I also still don't understand, with the help of this man's beautiful writing in the animated video, what inverted light means.
I don't know what inverted light means. Maybe
Or inverted lamp.
maybe the darkness was on the outside of the shade but that's still that, I don't know. I don't know what inverted means. It's like Cthulhu. Jared will never know. Those angles are wrong. Okay. Besides the schlock, which this is clearly schlock, did you enjoy this?
Not really. The writing, especially with the
Kind of hits it.
yeah, my wife bore me a child. I was like, no one talks like that.
He bore him 2 children, Jared.
No, the child bore a child. Remember?
Oh yes, that's right, because he had to edit that. Yeah, that would be a little odd. But I don't know. It's kind of fun. I think it's weird that everybody's like jumping on this now, which I don't really get. There's other stuff to jump on. But it was fun. I'll say I had a lot of fun listening to it because I was just laughing the whole time. Not scary at all, honestly. But it was entertaining if you can find a good animation for it. I think is better for it. because I mean, you just heard me read it, and I was like, "Oh, that was boring as hell." So, um, uh, yeah, I had fun with this one. Nothing special, but
Yeah.
honestly, okay. Quick pro for this thing. It didn't waste my time.
Yeah.
This was the whole video is 3 minutes long, and even I read this thing in less than like 5 minutes. So
That's
because
always nice.
I hate that in creepypastas, it's like 45 minutes, and like 30 minutes in, you're just like, this isn't going to be good, is it? It's never going to be good. Great, but so any other thoughts on this little short that we did?
No, but I'll give you a quick story of recently. So I have diabetes, and when I have low blood sugar, especially nowadays, I lose track of time. Like if it's really low, like at work a few months ago, I had like 53 blood sugar, and I just lost like an hour of time.
Jared.
I was like, what happened? And Carlos was like, oh, were you not paying attention? And I was like, no, I lost track of time.
Literally.
The worst one of this was one time I was in the apartment. I just got home from work, and it was really low. Come to find out, like after this little episode, it was like 40 some, and but it felt like what I was going through is I lived like 10 plus lifetimes, and then all of a sudden it came back to what was happening, and I just look at Luna. She's freaked out. I was like on the floor, like, the heck happened? But it felt like I lived like 100 lifetimes, and I came back and I was like, so
you don't need to do LSD. You already have that. Your body naturally produces that effect.
So I watched this and I was like, I kind of get that.
Maybe that's the whole explanation for this, Jared. He was just a type 1.
Yeah, and he landed on his face, teeth shattered.
There you go. Like, there's whole explanation right
there. The weirdest part was the cop just putting him in the squad car.
Yeah, that was kind of odd. It's like he put me on the back of the car, but apparently he didn't want to wait for the ambulance, so he took me himself. I'm like,
I don't think that would ever happen.
Yeah,
I mean, an extreme case maybe, but
maybe, but even so, like, he's like, my teeth are missing. But I don't know. It didn't waste my time. Not good, but I mean, it's sad that we can both say that we've heard worse, which is really sad. Honestly.
I can see how it got overlooked, but now people are like, "The heck is this?"
Yeah, I just think it's funny that everybody's jumping on it now.
Yeah,
and also classifying it as a creepypasta. I'm like, this is not a creepypasta.
Yeah, they probably couldn't figure out where to put it.
Yeah. So Jared, do you have anything for us for next time? Because if not, I do have something.
Go for it. I forgot. I totally forgot.
He always forgets, everybody. So we're going to tackle a bigger one next time. Not too big. I'm splitting it up into parts. But there is a new... it's not new. It's a few years old. But it's new for me. I found it. It's a fully dramatized version of the Goliath story of Baraska. And it's actually a full production of it. So it's like in 40 to 30 minute episodes. So it's nothing huge. It's nothing we can't handle. But I kind of want to see where this goes. See if we can handle the story, because it's a big story. Yeah. So
I'll have one for the one following that one. I want to do one on if you've heard of it, The Man in the Suit. It's that Godzilla one.
Yeah,
it's really good. I just gotta figure out, because there's multiple episodes, so I gotta figure that out.
Yeah, I hate when you find a creepypasta and you're like, oh, I've heard a way better version of that. You can't find that version, and the only version you can find is like a subpar version.
Yeah,
I hate that. All right, well, cool. I will send that link to you, and we are going to do next time Baraska episode 1 or season 1 episode 1. Tell Me About Whitney is the one we're doing. So.
Who is Whitney?
Well, you'll find out. Anyway, stay creepy, y'all. Bye.
Bye.